Hi, this is Cynthia Makris. So I'd like to talk to you about one of the most fun things I do, and that's teach kids how to sing. I live in Palm Beach County, Florida, and there are two amazing public schools here for the arts. One is a middle school and one is a high school. They have excellent academics plus everything that an artistically minded child would want. So there's a huge demand and there are not that many places. So the competition to get in is quite large. I am thrilled to work with these kids because first of all, they're motivated. They have a goal. And second, everything you do with kids is fun because they're so fresh and innocent and they can be happy so easily. So here's what I've learned teaching kids. One very, very big difference with teaching kids and teaching adults is we adults take for granted a certain level of abstract thinking. It's just normal for us. And with kids, you have to approach things slightly differently. You can't say it's like this and like this. It's like use something a little bit more concrete. So, for example, I had this adorable little girl. Oh my God, she was so pretty and so sweet and so eager to learn. And she sang, I mean, people come in with what they come in with. So she came in and her lower voice was just, straight out of her mouth, nothing. And so she'd get up and a little bit higher and couldn't get the notes out. But then suddenly, after the passaggio, this little flute voice was coming out that could go up, to a high F. She could have gone higher. So how to unify this and how to turn it into one voice that, will work for her. So finally I said, so down here, that's your real girl voice, right? And up here, that's the angel voice. And she went, oh, yes, I get that. And so, it only took a couple lessons and she was saying, oh, that was the real girl voice again. I got to mix the angel voice in with the real girl voice. And she got it. The other thing that's so lovely with kids is they're still open. They can still receive. So if I say, that was really beautiful, you really did that well, they just beam. Their whole being lights up. And of course, that's how I teach adults too, but adults may not take it that way. They'll say, oh yeah, well, I'm still working on it. I still have all these problems, but I'm working on them. It's like, oh, you really did something nice this time. So it's the innocence. It's so much fun. And, besides the fun that I have about it, I do see that it's a very, very big responsibility because the instrument is still developing. Somebody who's 9 years old, you could ruin that voice forever. So you really have to think about what you're doing and teach them a natural way of singing so that they will have the joy of that voice forever. And what I consider a natural way of singing is, of course, it sounds a little bit artificial if all you've heard is pop music all your life, because suddenly using your body, the resonance chambers of your body to produce sound, sounds a little weird. But that is using your voice properly, and it is using your voice in a healthy way. So if you think of an instrument like a guitar, almost all of the instrument is empty space. There are the strings, it's a little tiny bit, and then there's empty space. And if you just stuffed paper into that empty space and plucked the strings, you wouldn't hear much. So if people are just, blasting the sound right out of their mouths, they're not using the natural ability of their bodies to produce sound. So that's what I focus on with kids, is getting them to use their own bodies in a natural way. And at some point, a natural vibrato, natural to that voice, will start to show up. But nothing's ever forced. You don't ever force anything with a child. You guide it gently. And that's what I've got to say about teaching kids. Remember the responsibility.